Good evening, viewers around the world, friends. Happy weekend to you all. So we are back at it again. Today we promise we'll be coming back to continue on the updates on the elections in Nigeria, Southeast Nigeria, Anambra State. And we're here again. And interestingly also, our great friends, all coordinators from different corners. With us is our friend Ambassador Nat from the UK. Ambassador Nat, you're welcome, sir.
Good Thank you very much, and good afternoon. Thanks. Good to see you too.
Good to see you. Happy weekend, sir.
Happy weekend. You look great and calm.
Thank you. You too. You too.
Good.
So also joining us from Nigeria, where he's also monitoring the election very well, is the great doctor friend, Dr. Sita. Dr. Sita, you're also welcome. Welcome again on board.
Thank you.
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too. Good to see you, Your Excellency.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, we are back on it again. Yesterday, INEC called off the election, complaining of well, I will say those things now. You will say, Ambassador Nat, what happened yesterday? We were in the process, and all of a sudden, it was called off. What happened?
Well, I think our body system, the body language, changed towards the middle of the elections and towards yesterday, when the voters who had come out as early as some of them 6 a.m., 7:30 a.m., and INEC tried to mess them up seriously. I think the voters must be praised, they must be appreciated for exercising that high degree of patience, that degree of maturity, and the resilience. Because like in Professor Soludo's polling booth, where you had one or two people who are above 80 years, and they had come out to ensure that they exercise their franchise only for INEC, after telling everybody that they were more than ready. And the beaver machine technology, everybody is trying to blame that technology, but I think INEC should be held responsible and they should be accountable for their behavior yesterday. So most of us became apprehensive and we were concerned that even when IPOB had allowed this election to now go on, INEC is taking over the position of IPOB. But thank God, the crowd, there was some level of calm, there was a level of understanding that people who were around yesterday were able to vote, but some were not able to vote because of the beaver technology. But from our apprehension of yesterday, towards the end of the day, because like people like Professor Soludo stood in the queue for almost 5.5 hours, though it's a strategy for him wherever he was, but hopefully we think INEC has to give answers to what happened yesterday.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Nat. Before Dr. Sita gives his own side of it, our wonderful brother, colleague is here with us. Dr. Johnson, Dr. Sherry Johnson, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
I was trying to fill in the gap, but I can't fill in the gap like you do. So
come on. I'm blushing. I'm really blushing.
So we're here again. We couldn't come back in the evening of yesterday like we promised the viewers. Also, let's say that there were very good, impressive viewership yesterday, and they were following everything we were saying. So, and some of them also knocked on the door to ask me if what happened around 8 o'clock. So I had to explain with the phone call. So we're back at it again. Dr. Shagun, go ahead. Ambassador Dr. Osita was going to tell us what happened that we had to call off the election yesterday. So I think Dr. Osita is there. Dr. Osita, go ahead, sir.
Okay,
can
I think, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, fine.
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah. Yes.
I think I personally would not know at this particular time when INEC canceled, because we were on break. Remember, this team, this situation room team went on break to return at about 5, 6. I can't remember what time now. And then it was during the break time that my Godwin called me to say that INEC has suspended the election and it was going to continue today. What has happened, in these 2 days, would actually make us worry about the future of elections in the country, because if after what happened in the 2019 election, we still have, this is just a couple of years after, we still have these issues with INEC, then I think we're in trouble. Because if INEC cannot do one state election, this is Anambra of the 5 states in the southeast, then 2023, keeps me very bothered. But on the whole, by the time I started going back and forth with my teams everywhere, we found that even the way INEC has performed bothered them, but they were also happy that things have happened. That things have happened in ways that some people never expected, because they were saying to me that, what if the stay at home, have been enforced? What if this thing happened? And party members have been seen doing on very several things, at the different police stations. Some of them were holding cash in their hands, standing by the voters while they're online, which is not supposed to be. The lines are supposed to be, single file lines. They are there standing with them, trying to, what am I calling, influence their thinking or their action by handing over some kind of gratis. So yesterday and today, the first time I had seen one state election happen in 2 days. I pray that INEC will get the act right at the assimilation stage, where they are counting and collecting and they're putting the results together for the country to see. Apart from that, I pray that also let the best party win, and then let peace return to that state of the country.
Are you there? Dr. Shagun, are you with us? Can you hear us?
100%.
Good. So we saw so many things also. There were so many videos. We had to do some background check to see if it was authentic enough. But there are videos showing people sharing money, people stamping ballot papers and all that. I don't know. Dr. Shagun, you saw that? Did you see those clips?
Yeah, I saw some of those things. Like you rightly said, we had to do background checks so that nobody will give us what happened 10 years ago and say it happened yesterday. So we had to protect that one. And even some of the ones we saw, people raising up their hands in surrender to soldiers, we were told that it didn't happen yesterday, that happened long time ago. That people just put anything, so one has to be very careful. But having said that, I want to agree with my colleagues. Ambassador Nat, I heard some of the things you said, and Dr. Sita, that the issues that we're facing, they're not as easy as we may even be hearing. The issues are very, very deep. I heard Dr. Sita saying that people were sharing money. Well, of course, that has been going on before now, but it appears is that it has become part of our political institution. If you don't share money, people will not come out to vote. I think that is the first thing. So people go to the polling booths now, not because they want to vote for the party of their choice, but because they would want to collect money. And is a shame that we have to be discussing it. The people that are involved in sharing it, it doesn't appear that they are listening to us. It doesn't. Even some of them put on the cross of Jesus on their neck and they collect the money. Well, what can you do? When you look at the people collecting this money, 400 naira plus Maltina. I'm telling you, they look like people who needed money. They really look like people who will need the 400 naira. And so when you have been pulverized and impoverished, and somebody now comes to give you 400 naira plus Maltina, uh, you just take it. It's a shame, but you want to appeal to such people that they should wait. Hospital will come, education will come. They'll be laughing at you. They'll be laughing at you. So what one can just say is that we will, like Dr. Sita was saying, how do we now correct this, or do we just live with it? Are we going to live with it, or we're going to correct it? And then when you are telling the people who you want to correct it, they're looking at you and say, you want to correct what? These people will never bring any hospital or roads. So, and I'm hungry. Well, it's a difficult one to say. They say it is good for you to sit in England and start telling us not to collect money. Come here and come and test the waters and see how difficult things are. In some places, they've not got their salary for 6 months. You say they will not take 400 naira. A bag of beans has gone to 100,000 naira per bag. Rice, Derica rice has gone to 1,000 naira. Derica is a small thing like that. It's now 1,000 naira. And that is one labourer can finish that one at a sitting. So they have challenges. And I think they've been put in that position so that they'll be easily manipulated. Well, that does not mean it is right. What we should now start saying is uh, let this it's difficult. It's a difficult one because the turkey will never vote for Christmas. The politicians will never vote for the people to be democratically educated. They will never, because they will throw them out in the next second. So we who are not part of the political elite must just learn to now start from somewhere. To collect money from politicians is to kill the future of your children. You might as well slaughter your children. That's what they're doing. And until everybody realizes that, we'll be in a serious problem. But talking about the election itself now, well, it appears that Soludo has clinched it. Or do we have any other reports as they come in?
Well, there is a report by an organization called Center for Democracy and Development,
Yes.
CDC. Yes. They came out this afternoon to say that the Anambra governorship election has alleged widespread voting buying by political parties across the states. They said that the director of the research, one Said Hussaini, claimed that most of the electoral crimes were committed with security operatives looking the other way, pretending not to be to know what is happening. They also said that there was widespread incidents of vote buying that will likely negatively impact the credibility of the election results. So
Okay.
yes, they had their officers in the 21 local governments across the states, and this is the observation. So he said in many cases reported, police officers have been alleged to have looked the other way, likely as a result of having themselves been compromised. So this is coming from CDD, Director of Research, Abuja.
But
Uh,
may I ask you a question? Who is coming closer to ABGA? Is anyone coming closer to ABGA?
Okay, I think Dr.
Who's number two?
Ambassador Nat is following, watching that closely. Ambassador Nat, I think you're watching the results.
Yes, so far, we're talking of 21 local governments, and the coalition room have covered 13 or 14 local governments, and
out of 21. Out of 21.
Out of 21 out of 21 local governments. We're talking of 14 or thereabout. The results being announced by the coalition center in Oka, where the INEC officials and then the returning officer, I think is chief VC of UNICAL, University of Calabar. And from what we are seeing from the figures released so far, ABGA is far ahead of all other parties, PDP, APC, YPP, and that's it. And unless there is a political tsunami or political earthquake to change what we already have, we are waiting and seeing. But we're already saying ABGA coasting to victory. ABGA is leading, and the ABGA National Committee have said they've got it already. Those
Yes,
nearby, is he hearing me?
Yeah, no, we can hear you.
I can hear you, sir.
Oh,
but
okay.
Shegu is not in view, so I wouldn't know.
Yes.
Okay, so as I was saying, what we have so far, we can confidently declare that there is nothing stopping ABGA now from winning the gubernatorial elections of 2021 in Anambra State.
Okay, yeah, Dr. Shagun just excused himself for a few minutes. He'll be back. It's really pathetic, but I want to ask this, Dr. Sita. Don't we wait for the official count? Do we rely on this?
I stand for the official count. But if you also look at the monitors, like the BBC, for instance, that allowance for monitors also helps us match the results. Without declaring any party winner, I'm being very careful about that. I'm also responding to your query, to your question that says which party is in the lead. Which party is in the lead is not a result of whether we're counting or declaring, but we're also looking at what people who are around the the voting places would say. And from what I see from the map shown by BBC, I don't know if there's any way I can share that with you, because if I do my clip out on that and post to you, maybe you'll get it later. But let me see if I can just put. Is there any place I can place? What's it called? A link. I think I can put a link on the site here. Massive. Can I do that?
On the chat.
I think I can put on the chat the chat environment. Yeah. So yes, I have just put the BBC link there so that you can all see it. Some of the parties are not even indicated, meaning that they have not won any number yet, to be able to put themselves there. But if you see the map, the yellow patch that shows the entire stream is ABGA. There is APC there, there is YPP there, and so on and so forth. The thing is there, if you can click on it and share it. Yes. And then if I respond further, I would also want to say that whether it is credibility issue, whether it is something that we have roles to play in. We cannot say anything now until INEC that we have put the job in their hands. You know, they are shoddy, they are annoying, but without INEC, we don't have results. So let's also pray that they work harder than they did yesterday, because they didn't work hard at all yesterday. That was why they canceled. And I don't know if the ambassador saw this. Some people in some voting areas, INEC officials told them that because of their age, that beavers could not capture them. Can you imagine that? There are some old people who stood in line, like you said, for 5 hours. When it got to their turn, they said, "Oh, this machine cannot capture you because you're old." How can that happen in my country? They just say, "No." Did you see that? Because I saw that myself. They were
Yeah,
saying
I saw
that.
it. I saw it. I saw it, and I heard it, and I said it's very unfortunate. It's very embarrassing, and it's scandalous for INEC to come and tell us there's a technology for age groups, separate technology
Absolutely.
for age groups. So
Absolutely.
INEC is just trying to make excuses where they don't stand any ground. Um, not at all, not at all. Because if Soludo's father, Pa Soludo, was able to vote, and the other people came after him, and their fingerprints could not be taken,
It
then
doesn't
something
make sense. It doesn't make sense.
doesn't.
They couldn't capture some age grade in a global machine, a machine that has been tested elsewhere in the world. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't, like like you and I said earlier, it is the build of capacity of the users that is the problem. It's not the machine.
No,
It's building
no.
of capacity, adequate capacity development for these people. And they didn't care. They didn't train them. And I'm not
Yeah,
even sure that some of them have seen the machine before yesterday. So some of the
yeah,
INEC officials, I'm not sure.
yeah.
Because that's how we don't prepare for things in my country. We don't prepare for anything. We just wait until when it's time. They say, go and do it. Go and do it. Tell them that they are too old to be captured. Imagine telling me that I'm too old to be captured after I've stood in line
Yeah.
for 5, 6 hours.
And
It kills the spirit.
Professor Soludo said something, although I know he was a voter and a candidate. He said, and I know it could be true to a large extent. It's happened again in the past. It's a deliberate strategy. Sometimes it is the deliberate strategy to cut off some people from for being able to vote in a particular election, to defranchise them one way or the other. I know it is somehow it is an official policy. They cut off some people. They cut off some people deliberately, and these are things that are very, very hard to show empirical evidence that you don't have, but it is there. It happens. It has happened in the past, and there's no reason why it won't happen in the future, because we are operating a system that has no standards. It's not uniform. It left to the whims and caprices of those who are in charge in running the system. This is some of the challenges we are having, that we don't care. And again, the whole world is looking, they are hearing us, they are looking at us, they are laughing at us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That very basic tenets of democracy, to conduct an election, we cannot do it in the 21st century, the year 2021. How about Nigeria? Wake up, smell the coffee.
210 million people, 210 million people, we cannot do by percentage, we have not been able to do 5% of what other countries trailing behind us have been able to do. 210 million people in 2021.
Gentlemen, I want to also put this across. If INEC could be fumbling and wombling with one state, just one state, Anambra State, and they had this whole issue What is our assurance for 2023? What is our assurance for a good election?
I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Massive. I don't know because I thought about it all through yesterday when the thing started, and 3 hours into election time, some stations have not been able to activate their beepers. Some people don't even have it. They have not even arrived. And I was asking myself, we have this announcement for the last 1 year, November 6, 2021. INEC could not even push to send advanced parties without the materials, send advanced parties to go make sure that their stations are ready, voting stations are ready. That's what people do. Then when the machines come, you distribute them, they're already there waiting. Everything is on, power is guaranteed. The chargers will be there, everything is done. By the end of the day, as soon as it says voting time, 7 a.m., people queue up, they vote, and they go home and start waiting for the results. But no, 5 hours into the time, they've not even arrived. When they arrive in terrible buses, carrying the materials up and down, both at the ceiling and at the roof. And then that is when they begin to prepare, plug in things and do whatever. The day is gone. So yesterday was suspended because they were not ready. I prayed so hard all night that this morning, today Sunday, they would have done it so that by 12 noon, they are done with everything, and then counting stars, and then results come out before sundown. But the question you ask is so simple. If they can't do right in what? One state. What about 37 states? 37 states by 2023, because Abuja is one hell of a place on its own. It's one major big voting state on its own. So if they cannot do one state, what about 37? We're just praying, And then the ambassador broke my heart, this afternoon before I started talking, that the chairman of INEC will be there 2023 to do exactly what he has done again, And I'm asking myself, why must he be there? Why can't they say that, oh, the appointment was a mistake? Let him go. Let someone. Yeah, somebody. Listen, a good government will say, hey, we just gave you one state as a tester in your reappointment, and you failed. Please, let's find someone else. Who is your deputy, or who is this? Where can we find a better manager of elections, no matter where the person is coming from? But like the ambassador said, the man is going to be there 2023. Can you imagine this man who's supervising 37 elections, 37 states?
It's a sad one. Ambassador Nat, before you go, let's bring in Dr. Shegun is back with us again. And I think he's following up also what we are saying. Dr. Shegun, yes, we are talking about if one state, Anambra State, couldn't, we've seen what has been happening. INEC failed in everything, equipment, everything, logistics, administration, everything. It didn't go well. Now, if they can't do this, just Anambra, what is our hope for 2023 when there will be more like 30-something states? Dr. Shegun.
Well, that's a very germane question. And we saw that in 2019, we saw a glimpse of what will happen in 2023. We saw that in Borno State, where they were having war, as it were, with about 10 local governments under Boko Haram, we saw that they had more votes than states where there was no war. That informs us that somebody somewhere is just writing the figures. And where they were not writing the figures, they were allowing people to come in from Niger Republic, Sudan, Mali. And I'm saying this because it's been in public domain. I'm aware of a report that says that for Jonathan to win his election, that was after using up the Yaradua time, he had to contest, he won the election. But for him to win that election, they had to close all the borders of the north. He was in power, so he ensured that they closed the borders in the north. Otherwise, people will flock in and then vote and flock out. And for we have seen that this has been the pattern even before Mahmoud's time. And so we've seen people, more importantly, we saw leaders in Niger Republic coming to campaign for politicians inside of Nigeria. And it's like there's no the idea that the border is porous in the north is not even there. There is no border. And the Buhari has told us effectively that they are our brothers and they are our sisters, and those Fulanis could be Fulanis outside of Nigeria, inside of Nigeria, as if there are no passports or identification form in Nigeria. Bottom line is that your question, will we just in 2023, somebody will be sitting down somewhere to write the figures as they would love to. Have you forgotten the state commissioner, that is the electoral commissioner in Kanu? I'm sure Ambassador Nat will give us more information on this. That man who was bombed inside his house, and they said it was Yakon. Have we got any results up to today, Ambassador Nat?
No,
No.
we've not got no report, no white paper, nothing.
No.
I mean, how could that happen in a country where the man stood his ground and that there will be no rigging, and then all of a sudden his air conditioner caught fire and burnt him in a place where there were police officers outside, police officers inside, everywhere, and yet he died inside the fire. And so when you see things like this, you know that the running of democracy is still alien to us. I happened to be sent by the Association of Commonwealth Universities many years ago to come into England to study why democracy failed in Africa. And it's just because we refuse to imbibe the tenets of democracy. The tenet of democracy is that there will be an aggregation of mind of what is to be done in a particular setting. If it's a country, if it's a state, there is an aggregation of mind. But here, they have disintegrated all the minds. That the politician now is the one saying, "This is the aggregation. They want my people want me." Let these people talk, but with their votes, no. They have bought the conscience. They have done so many things, and this is the result. Until we see a way where we analysts will be able to permeate through this thick misunderstanding of democracy. Like we said earlier on, Turkey will never vote for Christmas. Politicians will never allow it to happen. Otherwise, they will not be in control. And well, eventually, maybe they will declare a Soludo, and many people will be disappointed in Anambra because some people do not want Soludo there. It doesn't appear that he will play balls with them. He won't play the game. And Obiano is in support. Some have said that he will continue. It's going to be a government of continuity. But whether it's a government of cover up or government of continuity, we're going to see. Obiano came in as a government of continuity, but he discontinued with Peter Obi on a personal level. Now we're going to see whether how far Soludo will go to do a government of continuity for Obiano, and we are all watching. But like you said, your question specifically, if we could fumble like this in the first one state out of 36, then how much more? 35 states going at the same time. That would be serious, or 30 something states going at the same time. Next year is Osun State. You remember Osun State? How they rigged the election blatantly in the eyes of the whole world. They declare an election, they pasted it, and they came out to say that election, what they pasted, they've changed their mind, and they want to do the election right in our very eyes, and they got away with it. And that is why I will always continue to shout, Oyetola did not win that Osun election. And even when it got to court, the court The position of the court was that you have to be very careful with these lawyers. Wole Olanipekun was arguing that there were three judges, and that one of them was not signing the book of judges that he came to office, whereas he came, but that because he's not signing that he came, it has shown that he did not come. So the judgment of that particular judge was not taken into consideration. And for that reason, Oyetola has won. The judge was saying, I came. Yes, I did not sign this register, but you saw me in court and I had everything. But they said, no, technically you are not there. But Oyetola might have rigged the election, or INEC might have rigged it for him. I'm sorry, Judge, you are not. And that's the kind of jungle justice we see. So it's a shame that 2023, we will never know the aggregation of the minds of Nigerians. Did Nigerians vote Buhari in? We will never know. We just know that INEC said so. And you recall Professor Moriziu when he was the chairman of INEC, and he said Yaradua has won. And they asked him a question. How could you say that? He said, who else do you want me to give it to? He's my friend. He's my friend. I know. He said, who else do you want me to give it to?
Oh
Said,
boy.
oh, so you give it to someone. Thank you very much.
It's a gift. It's a gift. Next door in Imo State, the man in the seat of power has sworn that they're going to drag the election results to the Supreme Court.
Wow.
No matter who is declared winner, no matter what the voters say.
Who's Odima?
Yes, I saw it this morning. He was swearing, he was vehement about it, that no matter who is declared winner, they are going to drag this thing all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
and I said to myself, I said to myself, does this make sense to a country? As a matter of fact, somebody talked about monitors before. People are watching us. They're watching us as a nation that could come with some promise to deliver on a population of 210 million people. And we're just there, we're just there playing. We're playing with everything. And everything, people play in class. People play.
But doesn't have the legitimacy of things.
To make any statement. Yes.
Ambassador Nat, what else do we know about Hope Uzodinma that people is called the Supreme Court governor, ain't he?
Yeah. That's what, and they want that to repeat itself in Anambra State. And Anambra people are telling him, this is not Imo State. Yes, stay in your lane. This is not Imo State.
Yes, Nat.
I think I want to think that the press misquoted him or out of context. Uzodinma didn't say so. Uzodinma, the governor of Imo State, has no business to comment on the elections in Anambra State. I'm aware that he's a Southeast governor. I'm aware he's APC. I'm aware that he's still trying all he can or he could to legitimize his being a governor of Anambra State. The Imo State people don't accept him as their governor. And that is why there are skirmishes, every day. People are being killed. The Air Force is always on the sky in Imo State. And the military are doing one dance or the other in Imo State. So I think we should just discountenance what.
But Nat, I beg to differ. He who collects the subvention of a state is the governor. I know that this man came before. I know that his people did not accept him. I know that they're killing, and if some people get their way in Imo State, they will kill this man. However, who is collecting the subvention in Imo State? Not.
No, really, collecting this monthly subvention sometimes is done by commissioners of finance of the state. Actually, it should be the commissioner of finance who goes to Abuja every month to collect.
Representing
money.
the governor,
So
representing the state governor who appointed him.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
but if it's Izoduma who has now rented an apartment in Abuja to collect rent every month, something is seriously wrong.
But
Something is
but we see all the governors doing that. Zamfara governor stays in Abuja more than in Zamfara, where he comes from. One could argue that Gulu is staying in his Borno state, but there are so many other people, senators, governors that are more prominent in Abuja than in their local states.
well. Let's wait and see.
Okay, let's wait
Well,
and see. Do we
I,
have
I,
any
I,
latest?
I was just going to add that we're expecting that INEC should have apologized to Anambra people and to Nigeria for the way they conducted themselves yesterday. We don't know whether it's too early, or we don't know whether we can even ask for an apology. An apology is not something we ask for. It should come immediately.
But Nat, is like this. They asked the former Minister of Sports, why did you treat our girls shabbily in Cameroon when you knew that they have entered the finals and they were going to play the finals of the African women football? He said openly, we did not imagine they would get to the finals, that they should have been chalked out. That was from the Minister of Finance, of Sports, saying that we did not plan for them
The
to
owner of the
lose. They
ministry,
should have
yeah.
lost. And then those girls, they managed to win, irrespective of the shabby arrangement of their minister. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because this INEC might be thinking that the election will not hold. They might have been thinking that way, that look, IPOP is going to destroy everything. So they are ill prepared. Now, this ill preparation has been showing up from what we have seen, because by 2 o'clock yesterday, some places have not even been, they've not seen the officials and things like that. And yet it could tilt the election result. Um, I have no doubt that Uzodima can say anything that he likes, because Anambra State is a key state in Nigeria. Nobody will controvert that one. The people are business smart. The people are brilliant. The people are brought into the forefront of Nigeria. People like Nnamdi Azikiwe, Edumegu Ojukwu, Alex Ekweme, among many others. Well-read people in Anambra State, business-oriented, and therefore for anyone to wanting to take Anambra State should be a very serious task. And so far, it's been APGA all the way, and it's the only state where PDP or APC is not the governor. And APC, I don't know, Ngige cannot win election on his own. I mean, we've seen how Ngige was treated locked up in a toilet, and he was deposed as the governor. I mean, it's something unheard of. A governor of a state being arrested and locked up in the toilet it's still baffling me. It's like a tale from the moonlight. But then that's what you've seen in Anambra. Is a very big state, big in size and big in importance. And I don't know whether my colleagues will recollect when Ngige and Oshiomhole had a clash, and Oshiomhole was using his position as the chairman of APC to harass Ngige. And Ngige replied, go and tell Oshiomhole that all his states in Edo, if they put everything together, they're just like in Idemili local government in Anambra. You get to hear all of these things from these practitioners of politics in Nigeria. But one good thing we need to know is that Anambra State is a key state in Nigeria, whether you like it or not. Second, Niger Bridge is going there. Airport is there now. And so we're looking forward to so many great things happening from Anambra. And I think uh, the IPOP pulled the rug underneath them because IPOP thought everybody thought that IPOP would not allow this to happen, but they allowed the election to happen, and I'm so glad and grateful to them, so that the man of the people will be collecting the subvention. If they insisted that nobody should go and vote and they didn't vote, the federal government will put his own man there who will be collecting the money and sharing it. But now their own man will be collecting the money and spending it for the state, hopefully.
Well, one just wants to make this statement maybe in advance. If ABGA, the candidate ABGA, eventually is announced as the governor of Anambra State, is going to be a new beginning of things in Anambra State. But why I'm concerned is because from research and from history, when you have this type of highly exposed people governing state like Anambra, there are going to be challenges coming out of that. What is his name now? Soludo is a first class or an international world civil servant or citizen.
Renowned economist.
Yes, it's going to have it very, very challenging to move at the pace and the speed of the people. The people are not used to professors. People are not used to
But look at Professor Kulu. Professor Kulu is doing well in Borno.
Okay, that's Borno now. That's a different ball game. The Borno people and Zulum, they're on their own. Soludo will be another. Soludo is going to think that he is a professor of economics, a former central bank governor, and this and that. And the people are not used to that orientation. The people are not used to grammars at that high level. They want the normal Onisha language or language spoken in Inewi or Oka.
But wait a minute, Ambassador.
Soludo cannot even speak fluent Igbo.
When Soludo was campaigning, he said specifically that he was going to raise up 1,000 billionaires. I read it with my own eyes. He said he's going to make sure that in his own 4-year term, he would so much run the economy that there are going to be 1,000 billionaires in Anambra State. Maybe the only billionaire we all know in Anambra State is one, Cubana. I don't know whether you know of any other billionaire. And I don't know whether he's a billionaire. You know, in Nigeria, you can just give yourself any name.
That number Soludo is talking of billionaires. Anambra already have that number or more. So he's just
maybe millionaires. I'm not sure they have 1,000 billionaires.
No, can I say something?
Yeah.
Charles Soludo is not talking about the Anambra who live in Anambra.
Okay. Yes.
Because he's working with a global population of the Anambra who are also backing him. But the
Okay.
number of
Okay.
billionaires from the Anambra extraction is much. They're not 1,000, but they are almost 1,000. Because the census that he took himself, the census
It appears that our brother is having technical issue there, and we'll just wait until he returns, so we can continue until. Mark, do we have any fresh news from Anambra? Is there any fresh election results? How many local
we're
governments?
still waiting.
Do you mind?
We're still waiting.
Can you tell us
Yes, we're
the
still
local
waiting.
governments they have? Yeah, but we need. Can you refresh the mind of our listeners?
Okay,
The local governments that have come. Yeah, please remind us. Refresh our minds.
Yes, let's bring some images to the viewers. First of all, the election going on is for Anambra, and let's bring in this view. Now there are 12 gubernatorial candidates, and we have number one there is the A sign. I don't know what that sign means. And is the governor candidate there is Ekene Alex Nwakwo, and he's 37 years old. And his deputy is a lady. Then we have some of these symbols. I really don't know.
How old did you? 37. Oh, okay.
Yes, Ambassador, do you know some of those symbols, some of those party symbols? Okay, anyway,
No.
ACC is also there. ACC is yes, I think it's Showere's party, and he has AAC, and he has the governor Obi Sylvester Chukwu Dozie, and he's a male. He's 41 years old. They are pretty young contestants there. Then we have the ADC, African Democratic Party. Akachukwu Silvanus Nwakwo is the governor candidate, and his deputy is Lawrence Chijoke, a pastor. Then we have also the ADP. We have APC, the popular APC party. We have the ABGA, which is now what we've been talking about. That's Soludo, Charles Chukwuma Soludo, and his deputy is Onyekachi Ebizem. Then we have APM, Eze Robinson Chukuma, and his deputy. Then we have also the APP, Azubike Philip. We have the DP has Chika Jerry Okeke. We have also the LP, the Labour Party, Obiora Emmanuel. We have the NPP, and that's another party there. Leonard Emeka. So these are some of the. This is the background of the candidates standing for this election. We are still waiting on the INEC portal. They've not brought out any results yet. So we're still looking at that maybe before midnight. No, that's what we are saying. All these results we are hearing are just people's speculation. It is just people numbering, giving their own numbers.
But it's Mark.
Sir?
It's no longer It's no longer speculation. Since 10 a.m. today, the State Collection Center and OCA, they have been declaring official results. But this is no longer speculation. They have been declaring results from each local government, and they have done more than 13, 14 local governments now. The returning officer.
Results, Ambassador?
Yes.
Do we have the result?
No, I don't have it of head. Unless we now go to the site of the Coalition Center in Oka.
Well, it's still dicey to declare anybody, you know.
No, nobody's declaring anybody. It's only INEC, the returning officer, that can declare after they have collected all the results from the 21 local governments.
That's interesting.
Because on their portal, they
will not send results to their portals until they have concluded it in the Coalition Center and have been announced. Then they will send to the INEC portal. They are not sending results to the portal at the moment.
Okay, let's shift our mind from the results. Let's look at the people in Anambra right now. Are they jubilating? Are they happy now that they have managed to vote? And are some people happy that they managed to collect money from at least 4 parties? Somebody is going to the market tomorrow morning to buy food stuff. What is the mood of the people? Does anyone know?
I think it's more of the situation is calm, is sober, nobody is jubilating yet until the results are officially announced by INEC. And you know, in most cases, people don't start jubilating until the results have been announced. And in most cases, crises don't start until the results are announced. So we yes. So
but Nat, remind us of the law. Before they can proclaim anyone as the winner, the person must win 2/3 of the local governments, and they also win the highest number of votes. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
What's the 2/3 of 21?
And INEC has warned right from the beginning that no, you can have the figures, but do not announce any results. You can have your figures.
That to the social media.
You can compile your figures. You can do anything, but do not announce any result.
Okay, so what we're saying now is that if Soludo should pass 14 local governments, and that is a majority in 14 local governments, and have the majority number of votes, he will be declared the winner, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think he's almost getting to that 14 local governments as we speak, out of 21.
Wow. Well. We want to see whether this. Let me try and speculate and pick the mind of Dr. Osita. Do you think, as from tomorrow, when they will declare, when we might have known the winner of this election, do you think that IPOB is not going to sheath his sword and say, look, that's okay. We have a new governor. We're not going to ask anybody to sit down at home. Do you think IPOB would go into the background now?
No.
No?
No. IPOB is not fighting Anambra State. IPOB is a southeast. It's an Umuibo group that is hateful of what's going on in Imo State, for instance. They are hateful of the fact that Umahi joined APC. They are angry that 1 or 2 governors are burying their hands in the sand like ostrich. It is not an Anambra thing. The reason why I say this is that they are smart enough to know that Anambra has a promise for their dream. That's why they did what they did. If you ask them not to stay at home in Imo for purpose of them, to walk the street, they will say no. Because to them, Hope was imposed on them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the issue is not about if Anambra becomes calm and good, it is a win for them, and they have 4 more fights to go. Umahi is APC. He declared APC having climbed the platform of leadership from PDP. They hate that fact. So the issue now is, if Anambra gets by tomorrow, by this week, by the end of this week, everything is calm again. They're waiting for March to swear in. They have gotten what the kind of reign they are looking for. Their own people, electing their people in a state like Anambra, it's okay for them. The next place where they would have loved to have that happen is Abia State, because of the area market and the power of the average Abia person in Igbo land. So they will not shoot their sword, because this sword is large, and to shoot it, they need so many people, carrying the head and pointing it into the good direction of the shoot so that it stays there. We don't, whether we like it or not, my dear friends, we don't even know who is IPOB. No, I'm being honest. Absolutely. I'm being honest with all of us who are here talking about the future of the Igbo person. We don't even know who is IPOB. All the people who stand in the front of cameras and condemn them, all the people who are not saying the right things about them, you can't trust all of them. Because the truth about it too is that they know that by the end of the day, this fight will benefit them. The victory in this fight will benefit them. So let's play this game as Nigerians who are looking for the right things to happen. Because whether we like it or not, IPOB has said one thing that was real. I'm not IPOB. I don't even play with them. But they said something that was peculiar about Sunday Igboho. They said if they let Sunday Igboho, rot in jail, the entire Yoruba nation will fight for it. And they're not saying, and they're not lying, because the truth about it is that it's the same feeling, it's the same sentiment. So when the Yoruba politicians are quiet about it, it doesn't mean that all Yorubas are. It's like IPOB. When the leaders, like the governors, are not saying anything that will get it right, it does not mean that by tomorrow, after Trudeau wins, that it will be the end of the fight for them. Because
listening to you, I'm just hearing the kind of thing that happened in the United Kingdom here about 20 years ago. The IRA. The IRA was running the place in effectively on the streets, and it came to a point that they even brought it to London. They bombed a few places in Canary Wharf, in Edmonton. I was living around there, and they had to. Even though they were declared a terrorist organization, the government of America, through Bill Clinton and this place, they had to come together and did a Good Friday agreement.
Yeah.
Whether you call them terrorists or not, they did a Good Friday agreement. And since then, by and large, things have gone down. No more
Exactly.
They made some agreements. So it's like IPOB is going to force the federal and state governments to say, let's come to the table.
Because it's a strong force. Whether we see today now or we don't. The truth about it is that IRA created a scare, really.
Yeah.
A very strong scare. That prominent and eminent Brits were scared to be seen in public. You remember? They were scared to be seen in public. They were, they ran on the ground because they
ran on the ground, and it was the Sinn Féin that was representing them in the open.
Yes, so, just one face. But you wouldn't know who IRA was.
Yes, and nobody knew who the IRA was. But you better don't make any mistake. The IRA could be next to in your apartment. You never knew.
They were neighbors. They were neighbors. They were clandestine. But what is beautiful?
The Conservative Party was having their party, their conference. where Margaret Thatcher was. They bombed so many places. So they were forced to come to the table. And I think the way I'm seeing IPOB now, they will be like the IRA of the United Kingdom until a negotiation is agreed that that part of the country will move on. They won't give up, in my own opinion. I don't know them, you don't know them, but we know they're there. You know they're there. Yeah, and they are like
the brand is live. The brand IPOB is live, whether we know it now or not. And they have organs. They have organs. That brand is the same thing in America. The brand is the same thing in the UK, in Germany. As a matter of fact, whether we know it now or not, the massive campaign that they have, the machinery that they have, they're using as a campaign tool is very strong. They're using the airwaves.
You remember the Ekweremadu issue in
Experience.
Experience.
Do you know that it was the iPod network that told them where Ekweremadu was? It was iPod radio network. Yes, that told them where he was, at what time, and how many people he was going to meet.
And they looked for him and they humiliated him.
They found him. I said, these kids will last longer than people think.
Yes, I think earlier the federal government come to terms. The state governors, those ones they are used to their subvention, and they can't afford to fight the federal government, and they don't want to discuss with the IPOB because they'll be sharing the money with them. So it's like
okay. What you just said now answers the question. Sharing, meaning that they have self-interest. They are being selfish. Yeah. Because the truth about it is that what we're saying here is about fixing Nigeria for our children and our children's children.
Yeah.
If we don't realize that anything we do now can help us survive and then help us exit this world happily, knowing that our children would not leave Nigeria and swear never to come back. I mean, I have kids. I have kids who have said, "Daddy, can we meet in Ghana?" and then my son calls me and said, "You're in Kampala, right? Maybe I should just fly down."
Oh,
they're telling me that they can't see me in Nigeria. Very plain language. They're just telling me, "Dad, no, we're not you. You're stronger than we all are."
you know the terrain. They don't know the terrain.
Of course. But even before we started living elsewhere, we had all lived in Nigeria once together. But in Nigeria, they know now, it's different from what they've always known.
My position has been that in all the capitals of the world, I can fly into and I'll be confident I will fly out. But when it comes to Nigeria, is the different. You have to fast and pray and read Psalm 119 100 times, and Psalm 23 that you have to read 200 times. And because right from the airport they started asking you for money. It's not that one is stingy. It's just like, no, not at the airport. If you ask money from me, how about the people that are bringing in deadly materials, who are bringing AK-47? So if you collect money from me, you are likely to collect money from them. And that makes the society dangerous. But
absolutely.
They don't see that way at all. Absolutely. They see that we're hungry, give us money. So you will collect money from someone who is bringing in a gun or a bomb, and then eventually will destroy some people.
Yeah.
They don't see that way at all. And it's a shame that they collect from white people, they collect from the Caucasians.
Oh, they do.
At the airport. They say, please, when you go do something. Nat, are we hearing from the people on the ground?
Yes. Amazon, go ahead. BBC is reporting that APGA has won 15 local governments so far. So that is BBC.
And the regulation is that if you win 14 states and have the highest number of votes, you have become the governor.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Okay. Did the BBC give us a figures?
Well, they just it came in their the site Dr. Osita sent, the Pidgin English site. So he's just giving a rough, a summary of everything that they've done their own. The INEC have announced that some local government return have been brought in, and as at 11 a.m. today, they said they had 15 local governments that have submitted their record. So,
but they cannot yet declare Soludo, mainly
yeah,
because they will still be looking if it could be upturned about about the highest number of votes. So it will be too premature to declare him a winner. From the other 6 local governments, let us imagine somebody collects more votes than Soludo, then there will be a second round of voting, isn't it?
uh-huh.
No. But for them to say that, for them to say that, gentlemen, you know also too that when the counting is on, a party is reckoning 4,000 votes. Some are reckoning 1, 2, 3 votes from the same voters situation. You already do your analysis based on that and the number of local governments won, because what Dr. Shegun is talking about upturn is real. But there are
Yeah.
upturns that are possible because of population. So if, for
Mathematically
yes,
possible.
absolutely. If for instance, Anambra State is 6 million people, there are 5 million point something, right? And then there are votes in thousands going to a particular party in almost all the local government areas, and some of them are still counting, tens and units. What hundreds and units? Yeah. So what you now say to yourself is, if these people are winning thousands of votes and they have gotten those thousands of votes in 15 local government areas, what stops them from winning? That's just your your question to yourself. And then you go to the mathematical board and see that there's no upset that will happen. So you can actually safely say, I suggest, or you don't declare. You say, I am thinking that if these people are this and this and this is what it is. And that's what BBC Pidgin English is doing.
Yeah, that makes sense, Doc. The only challenge is that I'm going to ask Ambassador Nats to refresh our memory in Ganduje. Ganduje was losing very well in the last Kano State governorship election. He was losing very well to his PDP counterpart. And all of a sudden, the election was cancelled in, and I think, 2 local governments. And there was no way. The difference between Ganduje and his counterpart was about 600,000 or something like that. And he overtook in a miraculous way. But Nat, please refresh us, because I know you were in that case.
Well, what we should not be seen doing. Kano State is a world on its own, and yes, and Anambra State, is also on it. The population in Anambra State is not anything near Kano, and honestly speaking, from as I told Mark yesterday, I've been following keenly the local government and the returns, and right from the onset, right from yesterday, ABGA was leading way ahead in figures and in local government. I cannot see any local government now coming up with any figures combined to upturn ABGA's lead. It's very, very hard, and it's almost impossible.
Well, in Nigeria, there's nothing.
And if I may also add, the rigging machinery that was in Kano seems not to be present in Anambra at the expense of ABGA. No. In Kano on, the rigging was so massive at the expense of the PDP.
Okay,
like
can I say something?
Yes, sir.
The good thing about what we're doing now, about the responses that we're getting from Mark Godwin, and what we're all saying is that we recognize the fact that there was rigging in Kano, because people saw the results first.
Okay.
So what we're doing now is analyzing what we're seeing. People are listening to us, they hear it. If, for instance, APGA, with these tons of numbers of voters, putting their votes for them, we eventually hear that APC or PDP wins, it goes back to the same record of Kano.
Yes.
And it continues to stain our nation, because Kano is a red flag in our national democracy today. Go anywhere in the world and talk about Kano. Particularly when after the election, the emir became deposed, and then every other thing is happening. Even Ganduje himself is confused. Once in a while, he talks against APC because even APC that he won for don't allow him do what he wants to do. They want money from him. Kano is rated the second most populous in the country. So APC is expecting so many returns from him.
Before the 2019 election, Ganduje promised Buhari 5 million votes. I mean, with his own mouth. And you wonder, how does a governor come about 5 million votes? He just pronounce anything that he liked, well, but I'm towing your footsteps, gentlemen, Nat and Osita, I'm towing your two footsteps. That is, my next question to us will be, I don't know if Mark has anything to tell us before I pose my question.
Yes, we are still monitoring. PDP has won one local government, and but interestingly, it's only the BBC Pidgin English that is giving us some detail for now. The INEC,
the local government PDP has won.
Yes, PDP has just won a local government. I'm trying to get it now, but there's one local government for PDP. APGA pulled up everywhere. Everywhere is APGA. Everywhere. Okay, PDP won Ogboru.
Ogboru local government.
Yes, Ogboru local government.
Is that the one close? Ogbaru. Is that Ogbaru? Is it near Delta State or near Enugu State?
I think Osita will tell us better.
It is near the river, yeah.
It's
near the river. Like, near the river side. But thank you for that update. Please continue.
It's a riverine government area.
All right. Let us project right now. If we project that Soludo clinches the governorship, what will be his relationship with other governors on the ground? Don't forget that Southeast governors are now fairly divided into two, PDP and APC. They have two APC Southeastern governors, Uzodinma and what's the other name? Udikam. Umahi, okay. So they have Uzodinma and Umahi. Now it's coming to deal with those ones and then dealing with the PDP ones there. Umahi, yes, thank you. And then what are the names of the other ones in Enugu, Ebonyi, and so that what can we project? What's likely to be their relationship?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Very, very good question. Because I was even before we close. The point is this: I know Charles Soludo. He was professor in my college. His program gave me job for 6 years. The EDC, around the EDC for the Southeast since 2014. The point is this: unlike what people think about Charles Soludo being a bookman, he has been very practical too, as somebody from a business village. He comes out from where everybody in his neighborhood is a trader. He speaks with them. He never went away from them. And for somebody who thinks that Soludo's Igbo is weak, it's not true, because he is a typical Igbo boy that speaks Igbo. That's what we all do. We all pretend outside that our Igbo is not good, but when you go home, they won't let you eat in the same plate if you don't speak the real Igbo with them. So but that apart, this man is a fence mender. Really, he never supports. He never supports IPOB. But you know what he says to Buhari all the time, that IPOB is a metaphor for restructuring. So don't create that. Don't create that difference, because people who are oppressed have a voice, and when they are raising the voice, they use any language that they like because of oppression. So those two governors, Hope Uzodinma and Dave Umahi, when they are ready to work with economies that is expanding development for the entire Igbo people, if they are ready, he will work with them. But there is no way. There's no way he can be an enemy of any state in Igbo land. There is no, because he has a plan. He has a plan that takes the entire Southeast as a corridor for development. I know that, we started the SSG together, but I left SSG because of what is happening now. What is happening now is that I need to have the power to criticize him myself. That was,
this is a good insight you have given us. I'm going to ask.
The Soludo support group that I belong to was very professional, and they held on until the election day yesterday. This is because he told them what he wanted, and he never deviated. And what is going to happen between him and Willie Obiano when Willie leaves? What's going to happen to them? Because their spouses had started warring. I am not saying this for you not to say anywhere else. Women the way they are. They were already looking at themselves or whatever. And the child says to his wife, "What right do you have to even have an opinion about Her Excellency? You're nothing yet." Yeah. That's the kind of man we're looking at. So he's going to mend fences, except for fences that cannot be mended.
Let me quickly chip in and ask this question. So, what kind of development is it going to bring into Anambra? Peter Obi gave us the impression that he has done all the roads in Anambra State. That's the impression I have. I'm an outsider in the sense that I live in England. But the little things I've listened to Obi, and I'm not talking of Obi, I'm talking of Obi, he gave us the impression that all the schools are very well equipped, all the roads are well done, and he had leftover money. And many people who have visited Anambra in the last few months said it's not like Anambra has so many roads, deficit this, deficit infrastructure. And so when Soludo comes, what do we expect him to do? Shall we take it from Nat, and then we come to Osita, and then we give it a close for today. What kind of program should we be expecting from Soludo? We don't see. I mean, before now, I thought Anambra State was the ideal state in terms of infrastructure, but people have said no.
Well, what I'm foreseeing or I perceive, if this is not a third term for Willie Obiano, I foresee APGA splitting into 2 or 3, because I don't think Soludo will want to be Willie's boy.
I don't think so too. I don't think so too.
Then that's where the serious fight will come from, because Willie Obiano has thrown himself into fire. I mean, when I mean fire, he has thrown in everything to ensure APGA wins, and that APGA here now is.
Well, Willie Obiano too won on the back of Peter Obi, but refused to play.
And we see what happened.
The
second appeal I want to make, this is personal to Dr. Osita. Please don't forget us when you get into the kingdom.
Okay.
Your
Excellency,
go for it.
Your Excellency, you know I love you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The truth is that I love you. I love you so much. Haven't met you
Oh, thank
yesterday,
you.
and haven't. Yes. But the truth about it is that you're going to ask me first if I am on the path to the kingdom.
I have seen you now. I said I perceive, which means I'm seeing you. You're on the path.
Okay, fine. But the issue is that when I walked away, yes, sir.
Ambassador Nat is not just, he's also a prophet too. Take note of that. He's also a prophet.
Let me tell you what has happened. When I refused to continue with the group, I drew enemies. Because I wanted a day like this to happen so that I can stand up and say to them, I warned you guys, I said this. Unfortunately, I'm not saying that now. But that does not mean that they can easily forgive me and they make me whatever they are thinking. But that aside, let me answer Dr. Shegun's question. Then I will tell you my point of view.
Okay.
The truth about it is that 8 years is 1,000 years for destruction. I want you to get this right. Whatever they said about Peter when he left office 8 years ago was right. But when you throw in one spanner in the wheel of progress, the wheel stops. And then at times the spanner is so badly, thrown in there that you can't even remove it. You destroy the entire wheel to be able to fix it. So what we're looking at is the network of roads will be a project because Soludo believes in corridor projects. And corridor for Anambra State is threefold: waterways, railway, and what's it called? Roadways. Yes, roadways. So what he's going to do is to face the roads that are going to bring development, because it becomes an agro corridor. Which of these roads will connect every agro producing state, city or town in the entire southeast? Because if he plays the Anambra card in corridor development, he's going to meet firewalls, he's going to meet brick walls, because the barge that will move from Dredged River, Niger, will not stop in Anambra alone. It's going to pass through other Igbo states. Why he's coming with the fence mending is that he understands the fact that if he's going to make Anambra keep the promise he's making to Anambra people, he has to play with others. That also brings the fact that the old apprenticeship system that has been practiced in Igbo land, in Anambra, has been abandoned by the Anambra. You know why? Because they are out there making money elsewhere. So people from Abakaliki in Ebonyi State are the ones now trunking in Nnewi and Onitsha. So he understands that he cannot be enemies to those states. Third, but not the least, is the fact that the man understands what entrepreneurship is. That is why he can afford to boast about millions of billions of billionaires. If he doesn't get it right, and by getting it right, he has to establish the foundation for entrepreneurship, which includes skills development. Because you don't just become an entrepreneur without a skill. So for those of them who are going to make the local things, the craft in Oka, the motor manufacturers, and I mean all kinds of motors, motorcycle, cars, trucks, and all of them. Soludo understands that economics by the academia has failed Africa, because he talks to us about that. He understands that the only economics that works now is the economics that fixes the people at the moment of investment. It could change tomorrow. So that's why he keeps talking about continuous. And then to share my point of view, when he started the EDCs in Nigeria, and in Central Bank, everybody was laughing at him. It looked like Noah, building ark on the dry land. And then he said to them, "What other choices do we have? We have 450 young men and women leaving school in 2006. In the near future, in 10 years, they're going to be up to 1 million." And his prediction was right. By the time I was working for for the CBN program in Anambra, we had 1.2 million young people living what's it called, universities without jobs. We only provided them. Yes, we were providing them with options. So if you work from Africa and then Ekulobia, all the entrepreneurship centers of Anambra State, the man has a plan to make them relevant. And relevance means that they become job creators instead of job seekers. And that is the kind of model that Nigeria needs to learn from if we have to change from the way we are now.
You have articulated it very well, and we cannot fault your articulation. If Soludo should win, we will come back in 4 years' time to say yes. Our man himself, Dr. Osita, has said he's going to do very well.
Well, I am praying that he chooses the right team. He's a good person. He just needs a team to work with that.
This is where we draw the curtain. If we hear the election, we may return. Mark, you want to help us to draw the curtain? If we hear the election, when do we think the result can be declared?
Well, we are looking at tomorrow morning, maybe.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you know the way they do. Ataru Jega started this thing. He will say the result middle of the night, 2 a.m. when nobody could protest. So whether you agree or not, you are on your bed. You will never. Wari was declared the winner on 2 occasions, 2 midnight, 2 a.m. So that those of you who will disagree, you will have slept. Your wife will say, "Sit down at home, don't go and protest." So I think they're going to declare in middle of the night when everybody will be sleeping with his wife or his children. And please calm down, everybody, calm down. 6 a.m. Go to your work.
Do we reconvene tomorrow, if possible, to at least talk about the winner and that in the evening?
Definitely, yeah. I would say yes, but Nat and I will be in another show between 5 and 7, so tomorrow we can reconvene. But we can reconvene, say something like 8 p.m. if you want us to, or if I don't know, but it could be earlier, say in the afternoon. If you want us to reconvene at 1 p.m., that's fine.
Okay, or 2 p.m. your time.
Or 2 p.m., especially if the result has been out. But, in Nigeria, the way they say it in Nigeria, what Nigeria cannot do does not exist. So,
Dr. Sita, are you with us for 2 o'clock tomorrow?
No, I can't do 2 p.m. on a weekday.
You can do that.
It's going to make money. What we'll do, if we can't do 2 p.m., we'll do 8 p.m.
Any quick way. Anyone you're in, just let me know. If I have the time, during the 2 p.m. stretch, I'll just sign in. If I have the link here. If it's 8 p.m., I'll sign in.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Dr. Shagun, thank you very much. I think we'll just put our eyes on the news and everywhere. And even though the CDC have said the whole thing is a sham, it's not credible, it's not too many malpractices. But
massive. CDD is one voice. What they say depends.
It's not a government organization. It's a personal. It's a private association.
Yeah.
Center for Democratic.
I have about 15 groups, including an ex-APGA member that is praising INEC and praising Beavers. I don't mention that because these are private. These are very private opinions. So let's not.
I've had from reputable election monitors, and what groups like Yaga Africa, Clement Onwako's Situation Room, and they said, to the best of their understanding of the situation, the credit should be given to the conduct of elections in Anambra State.
That's it.
So
I think it was peaceful in my own opinion.
Yeah, I think from we are trying to speak from the background we are coming from. IPOP saying no elections, and the elections held and relatively peaceful. Elections results are coming in, so I think we accept.
Yeah, but you know, other parties will not see it that way. Other parties will see it.
Yeah.
Other parties will see it another way.
Yeah.
We've been there. We've been there. If your party is winning, it's a peaceful election, free and fair. If your party has lost, is not. Is a vote rigging. Well, Mark, you are thanking us, and please thank us quickly. We want to go.
No, you've done very well. Let me also say that on Twitter, the viewership was good too today. And a lot of people were following up, and some people were writing. Somebody wrote something that I placed, but we didn't see that. It came. I had to repost it to our page. He said the movement you should consider starting is total electoral reforms movement (TAM). As long as that whole electoral system is not thoroughly overhauled, another Mahmoud that will be appointed by another Buhari will turn up, and the circle is started all over again. So that's coming from
that's a fair comment.
A friend,
Very fair.
Collins.
Very fair.
That's a fair comment.
That's
a fair comment. Let me just say that thank you very much, my friends and colleagues. It's been very, very hilarious and educative and informing and rewarding. Thank you very much. I look forward to when we reconvene for another hangout by tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Otsita, we look forward to